One Piece chapter 1049 spoilers are out, and it is said that Kaido lost to Luffy. This will change One Piece forever. Also, only a small percentage of the people who watch our videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video, let's go! Before we start, a little info about us. We've created a new channel where we'll be uploading random stuff. The first video will be released this weekend, just to have some fun with y'all. Not anime or manga related, so if you want to see more from us, feel free to subscribe. The link is in the description. But now let's talk about One Piece chapter 1049. The main premise is that it looks like Kaido lost, although the winner of the fight hasn't been announced yet. Apparently the result might not be revealed until the next chapter, similar to how the Sanji vs Queen fight concluded. In our last review, we told you that it really looks like this is the final clash between Luffy and Kaido, and so the leak seemed plausible considering what we mentioned last week. There are several reasons for this. The whole setup of the final act of Wano and the way the clash is played out does not allow for any other outcome than that one of the two, Luffy or Kaido, that is the one who gives in during the Conquer Haki clash, will be defeated, because all the energy gathered during this non-contact Haki confrontation will hit with full force the one who loses the clash. Even the strongest pirate in the world will probably not be able to continue fighting after being hit by such an attack. So it all comes down to pure willpower based on their Conquer Haki, and of course that's literally what Conquer Haki is all about. Willpower. So it's about who has the stronger will. Not just the will to fight and win, but also to become the pirate king. So if that's what it is about, then Luffy in the current situation with his current power level, which is pretty much on the same level as Kaido, just can't lose, without for example someone or something getting in the way. And due to the fact that Momonosuke has been entrusted with the task of pushing Onigashima away, and that a connection has now been established between the task and Luffy's fight, as Luffy has indirectly revealed that he has been holding back his true power all this time because Onigashima is still standing in his way of defeating Kaido, it becomes clear that this must be the final clash. Only when Momonosuke can push Onigashima away can Luffy defeat Kaido. It all makes sense and leads towards the end of this arc, as it is hinted in the new One Piece leaks that Kaido seems to have actually been defeated. If Kaido is indeed going to lose, then we definitely need to talk about the possible aftermath of this war, which will happen very soon. This is more important now than ever because we must always keep in mind that One Piece is damn close to its end. Not compared to short series of course, but for a giant like One Piece, the end is very close indeed. We're only talking about a few more years, with a lot still to be revealed, so everything from now on must happen very quickly. What I'm saying is that there isn't much time for seemingly calm events. Everything that happens from now on will be connected, as it has been since the moment Luffy entered the new world. Each new island gave an immediate reason to travel to the next island. From Punk Hazard to Dressrosa to Zou, with of course the incident on Whole Cake Island with Sanji, and then finally Wano. Everything had a connection. It was about Wano and the Smile Throne and the general cruelty of the country with its regime and weapons production, and with it also the arms trade. Part of the system was of course Kaido, but in this Kaido also made a deal with the world government about weapons production with all the weapons factories in Wano. This is the main reason why the people in Wano have suffered all these years. If there's no buyer for the weapons, then there are no factories. But as long as the interest in these weapons exists, there is a possibility that the real danger has not been revealed yet. This danger then has something to do with the world government, which also happens to be in Wano at the moment, and is also on its way to Wano with a large fleet. So when Kaido is defeated, everything that led to Wano is completed. But not the real reason why the problem in Wano arose in the first place. The only thing missing is the world government that was directly involved in all the suffering that happened to the people of Wano. The reason why the journey could continue could be related to the world government to connect the plot between all these islands of the new world. So a plot connection between the world government and Elbaf as the next big island. And it fits perfectly because the world government, as mentioned before, is actually on the way to Wano to carry out a secret operation, which is still more or less unknown to us. We know that it has something to do with Wano itself in connection with the war between Kaido and Luffy, maybe even to seize Wano or to arrest Kaido and whoever they can get their hands on. Wano is one of the last major countries that is not yet part of the world government and is also a very important part of the weapons production, so with the loss of Kaido, everything will fall apart. The most logical conclusion is that the world government will try to take over Wano for themselves and force it to join the world organization so that they can then continue the weapons production, this time officially under their own control. It could be that they will simply appoint someone from their own ranks as the new king or shogun. We can probably expect some manipulations, conspiracies and corruption. You don't come into a country with a bunch of warships to have peaceful talks. Something is going on. It's obvious that the world government wants a piece of what will emerge after the fall of Kaido, and this is exactly the connection we suspect between the government and the whole plot of the new world, which then might be the reason why the journey of the Straw Hats immediately continues to the next big island. So there has to be a connection to Elbaf. Although we know that Elbaf is a kingdom inhabited by giants and considered the strongest country in the world because of its army, little else is known about Elbaf. Similarly, we knew little about Wano before the Wano arc began. It was known that it was the land of the samurai, just as it is known that Elbaf is the kingdom of the giants. But the whole plot and the connection of the One Piece plot was revealed to us only in Wano. So we can expect the same thing to happen in Elbaf, with the difference that Elbaf must be even more important because it is the last big island before Laugh Tale, with only Lodestar Island in between. Before my partner continues with this One Piece chapter 1049 League talk, please take a moment to leave a like. It really helps us a lot. Thank you.
From what my partner has just explained, it seems inevitable that the world government will take over Wano, unless something happens to prevent that event, which is rather unlikely because everyone in Wano who has the ability to prevent it is currently at their lowest physical level. Even a single admiral would be a major problem at this point. And so, the government forcing Wano to join the world organization may also be a necessary step for Luffy to eventually realize that the world government is no different than Kaido himself. Of course, it is clear that the world government isn't Luffy's friend and never has been. But so far Luffy hasn't made it his goal to overthrow the government, as we expect from the future Pirate King, especially from Joy Boy. Luffy wants to be the Pirate King, but it seems that he himself doesn't understand why Roger created the pirate era and made the One Piece so relevant, which obviously has to do with the fact that Oden knows that in 20 years someone will emerge to bring the dawn upon the world, because that's what Laugh Tale made Roger do, to get himself arrested and create the Age of the Pirates for whatever the reason was. But considering that the poneglyphs were built with the help of Joy Boy, a person from the Void Century and the enemy of the world government, everything that has happened at Laugh Tale and consequently influenced Roger's decision to die on the execution platform. All this happened for only one reason: to overthrow the world government by creating the ultimate Pirate King. So in order for Luffy to become the Pirate King, he must slowly begin to build the goal of overthrowing the world government even before he finds the One Piece. This is just the way One Piece does things. Think about it. Before Whole Cake Island, Luffy had already talked to Big Mom on the phone on Fishman Island and told her that he's going to kick her ass in the new world. So even before Luffy and Big Mom clashed with each other in the Whole Cake Island, Luffy made this his goal. This was based on how Big Mom does certain things in unfair ways that Luffy didn't like. The same thing happened with Kaido, where Luffy made it his goal to defeat Kaido because of the Smile production and the incident on Zao with Jack and the Beast Pirates. And considering how everything is connected to the whole Wano arc, Luffy's goal shouldn't be just to overthrow Kaido, but at some point Luffy needs to see the bigger picture of how the world government itself is involved in everything, and thus make it his goal to overthrow the world government as well. So at some point, it's just not enough for Luffy to just want to become the Pirate King. He also has to represent the person who is destined to become the Pirate King. The One Piece was created by Joy Boy to ultimately defeat the world government. And we are not talking about the things like the death of Ace. This is just a personal reason for Luffy to despise the world government. But to overthrow the world government, Luffy needs a better and a bigger reason, such as the slaves of the Celestial Dragons, Emu, and especially the involvement of the world government in Kaido's business. So if Luffy frees Wano from Kaido only to have it fall into the hands of the next organization that was also the cause of all the suffering in Wano at the same time, then this could be the point where Luffy realizes that his journey doesn't end with him becoming the Pirate King, but that he still has to free the world from the world government after that, just like he freed the people of Wano from Kaido. And along with what he will discover on Laugh Tale, he will understand that it was always his destiny to become the Pirate King, to one day overthrow the world world government, because that's what the One Piece was made for in the first place. All this could play out in many different ways. We should definitely keep an eye on the world government in the next chapters, with a possible connection to Elbaf and the reason why the Straw Hats will immediately move on to the next island. So all of this must be connected to Luffy finally making the destruction of the world government his ultimate goal. That's it for today, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. See you guys in the next video. Yami out.